Do you remember the day that you stopped taking care of yourself the same way that you take care of everybody else around you? More importantly, do you remember the day that you said, "This is enough"? And how did you start refilling yourself? On June 8th of 2008, my late husband passed away from cancer. He had been going through that struggle for a year and a half. In that year and a half, as many of you know, I have a son who's severely autistic and mentally handicapped, and I had a company that was doing really well. I could not manage all three. So I sold my company, which was the best decision I ever made. As June 8th, 2008, my late husband had passed away after a long struggle with cancer. I was 38 years old. I remember that after the funeral, after taking care of the estate, of the attorneys, of the accountants, of portfolio managers, selling my house and moving closer to be closer to my family, all of that took about 3 months. Within that 3 months, I recall there would be days that I would put a robe on, drive my son to school, drop him off at the parent drop off, go home, get back in bed. There were days that I did not brush my teeth. I'm talking about like 2 or 3 days. It probably looked like cottage cheese yellow, which you can't even imagine, because I was so tired. I was so physically and emotionally drained, not only of what I was going through, but also because I had depleted myself in such a way to take care of everybody else around me, as one does, willingly, lovingly. And as much effort and time as I put into taking care of everybody else around me, I completely forgot about myself. And I thought about that today because there's this cute girl coming over today. We're going to have coffee and little cakes and little, cookies, because of course I'm always a little bit extra. And I was thinking to myself, I am putting this time and effort into someone that I don't know. We've only spoken, through text, and we're meeting today for the first time in actually 30 minutes. She's coming over today. And I went to my favorite little bakery, and I went and got like these fantastic little things with cream and nuts and chocolate. And I went and got my favorite little cookies that I never buy for myself. I only buy them when company comes. One, because if they're in my house, I'm going to eat them. And two, because why? I love them. They're so precious. They're so good. I love them so very much. And I bought all these little things for this cute person that's coming over to my house that honestly, I don't even know. And I'm putting in all this time and effort. And it reminded me as I was putting this in the plate. And I put the semolina back in the refrigerator. I was thinking to myself, I am putting in all this time and effort into someone that I don't even know. And what is it that I do for myself every day that reminds me of how fabulous I am and what a good person I am and how beautiful and feminine I am? The amount of time and effort that I put into taking care of everybody else around me, except the difference between 2008, and I can tell you what I did, the small little steps that I took in order to come back to myself. But as I'm setting up this tray, it got me thinking about all the time and effort that you put into taking care of everybody else so beautifully, and you forget to take care of yourself. So here are 3 things that I did during that time, from probably September of 2008 until that I still do to this day. One thing that I did after taking a shower and brushing my teeth and, you know, reminding myself that, Vanessa, you're alive, you're still here, life does go on, is I remember taking a shower, putting on makeup. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. It's perfume and mascara and a little lip, and I'm super happy. But I remembered one of the things that I did to reconnect with myself is that I have this proprietary blend, which I've told you guys about, and I promise I'm going to make a video and show you what I make for myself, and you can also make it for yourself. And it's this oil that I put on that has got jojoba oil, and it has some castor oil, and it has sweet almond oil, and a bunch of other little apothecary scents that I love so very much. And it's not so much the oil, it's actually what I did with the oil every single day to kind of touch and connect with myself and remind myself, I'm still here. I'm present. I'm worth it. So when I got out of the shower, I would put on this oil and I would say this little prayer to myself, reminding me, Vanessa, you are beautiful, you're magnetic, you're kind, you are beautiful. And these are the things that I would say as I put on this oil all over my body. That's one thing. The other thing, as I said, is I would make sure to put on the body oil every day. Just a reminder of connecting myself to myself with the same kind of effort and delicacy and love as I'm setting up this tray for someone I don't even know. Is the same way I came back to myself. And the third thing that I did, and I think many of you know here on Feminine Spaces, right? You know I love me some flowers. So typically in the winter, I don't buy myself flowers because I just think it's so freaking cold. I mean, it's -2 and it's full of snow outside. And I'm not going to buy any flowers in the winter because they just die really quickly and it's sad. And then the third thing that I did, and I reminded myself today as I'm going out there and buying all these cute little things, I bought enough to make 3 bouquets, and they're spread out around my house because I love flowers. The 3 things that I did to bring myself back and connect to myself and my femininity, and to start investing that time into myself as I had for so many years into my son and my late husband, was taking a shower and anointing my body with this fantastic proprietary blend that I make for myself, putting on makeup. I mean, for me, something so simple, because for me, it's very feminine and it reminds me, putting on a little bit of blush, a little bit of mascara, of course, your eyebrows, because as you get older, if you don't put an eyebrow on, it just goes down to your lip and you look crazy. And my lipstick. And then the third thing was buying my flowers every week. And that little action, those 3 little actions, doing them every single day and every single week, started connecting me back to myself. And that is why I love Feminine Spaces, because the things that I talk about here and the things that we share and the things that you DM me about and I write about are the things that we experience as women. And I have to tell you, my father died when I was 13 from cancer. And that was a long time ago. That was in the 70s. Being an adult and experiencing someone you love very much suffering and being tortured by such a horrible thing like cancer, and watching them literally go from 200 pounds down to 140 pounds, and watching this cancer just take the life out of someone that you love so much. And other than taking care of them and ensuring that they had their medicines and love and support and family around them, knowing there was not one single thing you could do to prevent it, is draining. And putting all of that care and attention into a person that that is no longer going to be here after a certain period of time, and forgetting to take care of yourself in the process was not only a humbling experience, it was also a draining experience. It was also a reminder that just because I'm doing these things to take care of those I love, I am the center of my world. I am the beginning and end of my world. Without me, my world doesn't function. And that was such a clear reminder to me, which is why I love feminine spaces, because it reminded me about, as I do here, guiding women 40 plus and rediscovering their feminine power, curating their relationship wisdom, self mastery, and conscious living, all through that feminine lens. And through these stories that I share with you and these experiences that I had today, it reminds me, and I trust that it reminds you, that what you want in your life, you have to cultivate and curate for yourself. And as I was out today, buying all these great little cookies and crackers to lovingly and very femininely care for another woman that's coming in for the first time, and we're having a little coffee and a little cake and, getting to know each other, it's even more important for you and for me as women to show that same kind of effort into ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to fill that bucket for ourselves. And you don't have to spend a lot of crazy money. It doesn't have to be anything like that. As I said, for myself, the way that I brought myself back from the depth of the abyss of the emptiness of pouring everything into another person, as one does, not complaining in any way, and forgetting to take care of yourself, is by taking those 3 little actions that I took for myself, just to remind myself that I'm alive, just to remind myself that I'm a beautiful, powerful, feminine woman, just to remind myself, that touching me to me, to remind myself that I'm alive and I'm here. And it was through that, just putting on that proprietary blend of oil that I put on my body every day, and just like saying a little prayer with every single square millimeter that I put the oil on my body, just an incantation of saying, you are beautiful, you are feminine, you are kind, you are connected to the divine. That connects me to me. And then putting on a little bit of makeup just to show up for myself, to amplify my femininity to myself and to those around me. And something as simple as buying myself flowers every week, because it makes me happy, because it brings femininity in my environment, and it reminds me who I am and where I come from. So I'm curious, you magnificent, beautiful, feminine women, have you forgotten about yourself? And if you have, what are 1 or 2 or 3 little actions you can take starting today that will reconnect you back to yourself? Pussily Puss.